Now, please join me in welcoming Rick Gomez, Executive Vice President and Chief Food and Beverage Officer at Target.
What we value most should be held in our hands. A trust that fuels us to know exactly where we stand. With all my favorite colors. When the care we give back shows up in everything we do, then we become the good we can't afford to lose. There's power in our purpose to reach higher than before. What we value most shouldn't cost more.
Good morning. Morning. It is great to be here. It's great to be in person. It's been a long time since we've done that, and I'm so glad to see so many friendly faces. I'm here today to talk about what we're doing in food and beverage at Target. Now, we've sold groceries at Target for a long time, a lot of them, in fact. Food and beverage is one of our 5 key categories, and historically, it's made up about 1/5 of our sales. But over the last few years, we have been on a journey at Target, a journey of going from a retailer that simply sells food and beverage to being a retailer that celebrates food and beverage. And we've come a long way in a really short time. Look, the numbers speak for themselves. The grocery industry is up 10% last year, and Target more than doubled that. Since the beginning of 2020, we've gained well over $2 billion in market share. And in the second quarter of this year, we posted low double-digit growth on top of our 20% gain a year ago. We're a top 10 grocer by sales volume, and we're ranked number 4 in the digital space. We recognize there's plenty of work in front of us. We're definitely in the midst of this journey, but our food and beverage business has a ton of momentum right now, and our team is not resting on our laurels. We are committed to rewarding the trust our guests have placed in us by raising the bar on ourselves so that we can deliver an experience that only gets better and better. Now, our success is rooted in being unapologetically Target. We're growing our business and generating guest love in food and beverage by leaning into the strengths that differentiate us and that have made us one of America's strongest retailers over the last 5 years. So today, I'm going to discuss our seamless, game-changing omni-channel shopping experience, our owned or private label brands, and our national brand partnerships that have all brought a big scoop of Target magic into our food and beverage assortment, our commitment to major seasonal moments, and the power that comes with being not just a grocer, but one part of Target's multi-category experience. And finally, the work that we're doing to make Target even more inclusive through our assortment, specifically by leveraging businesses owned by Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. Now, heading into 2020, we had done a lot to position Target as a stronger player in the grocery industry, making big investments in our team, like hiring scores of food and beverage coordinators who have brought significant experience to our stores and to our teams that they lead. Store remodels that took us from this to this. Good and Gather, the largest own brand launch in Target's history, and we had just started to test fresh and frozen grocery pickup in store and drive up in just a few markets. Our strategy was working. We had the wind at our back, and there was no end in sight. And then, well, you know what happened. The pandemic hit. And like all of you, our priorities shifted for a while. In the spring of 2020, it was vital that we remove complexity from our stores so our store teams could focus on meeting unprecedented demand. But at the same time, we knew that we couldn't let our intense demand-driven growth in 2020 come at the expense of our plans for the future. So we paused that small order pickup test in the spring as we adjusted to this surge in sales. But We restarted it early in the summer because we could see that our guests were consolidating trips and looking for safe and easy shopping options. And we also knew that a free service with no minimum order requirement or arbitrary pickup times would be an amazing complement to our same-day delivery business, Shipt. Being able to do this says a lot about our team, because in the middle of a pandemic, in the midst of nonstop peak-level sales, we undertook a massive enterprise-wide effort to install order pickup coolers in hundreds of stores nationwide, raise guest awareness of our expanded order pickup services through our marketing channels, and train countless team members on picking and packing grocery orders. So we could completely revolutionize the way people shop for food at Target. And in the space of just a few months, from roughly Memorial Day to Labor Day, we went from a small test to having fresh and frozen order pickup available in more than 1,500 stores. We're winning in digital because we don't force our guests to shop on Target's terms. Instead, Target serves our guests on their terms. Now here's what free, no minimum order requirement, no arbitrary pickup times, what that means in real life. Let's just say you need to grab some rolls on your way home to go with a spaghetti dinner. You think garlic bread sounds great. So you go onto the Target app and you find from favorite day, take and bake garlic bread, $3.99, no problem. If that's all you want, that's all you need to order. No filler items required to hit some minimum order threshold. You just buy the bread on our app. Within 2 hours, you'll get a message telling you that your order is ready. Let us know when you're on your way. And then when you click, I'm here in the parking lot, we'll see you in 2 minutes or less. It's that easy. And that frictionless experience is why we continue to grow our digital business, even as guests are also shopping in store more often. Drive Up is one of the most popular services Target offers, generating amazing NPS scores. And we have built on this success in 2021 with adult beverage pickup, which is now available in more than 1,200 stores, with more on the way. But at the same time that we were becoming an easier place to shop, we were also investing in our assortment with owned and national brands that make Target a destination for food and beverage. In 2020, we continued building out Good & Gather, which it now totals more than 2,000 SKUs across nearly every category in food and beverage. Good & Gather is already a $2 billion brand because the product's amazing and because our Good & Gather assortment makes meal planning a breeze. Whether you're browsing our aisles or our app to find exactly what you need, or you're picking up one of our meal solution kits for taco night or pulled pork sliders. And despite our success, we're committed to making Good & Gather even better for our guests. Earlier this year, in fact, we added Good & Gather plant-based to our product line, and response has been phenomenal. Then there's one of the highlights of my year, which was the launch of Favorite Day, our new sweet and savory brand, which ultimately will include more than 700 items. This spring, right before the launch, I spent a weekend sampling items from Favorite Day Bakery. Think like cupcakes, cookies, muffins, breads, and Favorite Day Gourmet, a collection of really decadent, high-quality ice creams and other delicious premium treats. It's a tough job. Someone's got to do it. And a pro tip, the blueberry streusel breakfast bed, toast it with just a little bit of cream cheese, and it's amazing. Now, our own brands are a big part of our future plans at Target, in food and beverage and across the store. But at the same time, we're also committed to being a retail partner of choice for national brands, with a curated assortment of products that our guests love. Last year, when the frozen meals category was nearly tripling, one of our senior buyers approached Sovos about bringing top Raos restaurant recipes and dishes to Target. And then we worked closely with them to co-create 2 new recipes that launched first at Target in May, generating a big win for us, for Sovos, and for our guests. I also loved our first-to-market collaboration with Danone on yogurt sourced from ugly fruit, an innovative way to create a great product and avoid unnecessary food waste. And then there's our longtime partnership with Starbucks, and how we leaned into Target's ability to combine premium products and convenience for a standout launch strategy for the Nespresso for 2.0 line. Our guests look to Target for innovative products and emerging trends. For instance, about half of our milk assortment is specialty product, primarily organic oat and almond. This guest expectation for new on-trend presents a big opportunity for us to continue seeking out ways to elevate our own brands. And for our national brand partners, Target is a great stage for you to bring your newest, boldest, and most creative ideas. Because time and time again, our guests have responded to what we can do together. Our approach to our own brands and national brand partnerships, combined with being a part of Target's multi-category assortment, has helped make key seasonal moments a huge part of food and beverages success. In the early part of the year, with a lot of pandemic-related restrictions still in effect, we saw big growth during Valentine's Day, Easter, and Mother's Day. That's consistent with what we saw throughout 2020. In a time of crisis, these moments became even more important. And our guests were resilient, adapting old traditions to new realities, which meant a lot more cooking at home, a lot more family meals, and a lot of new ideas to infuse joy into lockdowns. I'm proud of that, but I'm also really encouraged by what we've seen as guests rebuild these routines. Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, despite fewer restrictions, all generated strong growth. We saw big demand for hot dogs, hamburgers, and buns all summer long. Our deli business has done great, and soda is a growth category at Target. Part of this is because of things like family meals just haven't gone away. And it's because guests who turn to us for help in getting through 2020 are coming back to us now because they loved what we had to offer when they needed us most. And they love that not only can they buy everything they need to grill up a meal for their family, they can also get the paper plates and the extra patio furniture and the yard games and a new outfit, and yes, even the grill, all at Target. So as we continue to embrace the magic of key holidays, we're going to embrace the magic of everything that Target has to offer, as one of 5 major categories working in unison to provide a best-in-class experience. That's an advantage every day. But it's especially powerful during these key seasonal moments. And I am really looking forward to see what the team is doing for Halloween and for the holidays. Before I close, I want to discuss one more area that I think it's critical, not only to Target's long-term success, but really to any retailer's long-term success. And that is inclusivity. I joined Target back in 2013 because this is a company that's aligned with my personal values. It's joyful, it's optimistic, it's inclusive. Target has a long track record when it comes to diversity and inclusion. We've had a strategy with measurable goals in place for almost 20 years, and we have made consistent progress year in and year out. But last summer, after the murder of George Floyd in our hometown in Minneapolis, we knew, based on conversations with our team, our guests, and our community partners, that Target had to do more. So we created an enterprise-wide racial equity action and change committee to accelerate our efforts when it comes to racial justice. Since then, we've made a number of public, measurable, time-bound commitments, including a pledge to spend $2 billion with Black-owned businesses by 2025. I think this is one of the most important things that Target has done in my time with the company. Because when we lift up Black entrepreneurs, we create opportunity in communities. We create a more welcoming environment for our guests who can see themselves better reflected in our assortment. And we create a fundamentally better Target. That's why over the last year, our food and beverage team has sought out new partners that we're learning about through word of mouth, through media reports. Buyers are expanding their network, so they're meeting new people. One of my favorite examples of this is a plant-based meat company called Everything Legendary. Now, when our buyer heard about Everything Legendary, he knew our guests would love it. So he picked up his phone, he called the CEO to discuss coming to Target. We didn't wait for them to pitch Target. We reached out and pitched Target to them. That's how you improve the pipeline in any aspect of your business. And that's how we've identified dozens of potential partners, many of whom weren't on our radar until we started thinking and working differently. We're also looking at smaller startups that might not be ready for Target right this minute, but have a ton of potential. That's why Food and Beverage is participating in Target Takeoff. It's a business accelerator program designed for emerging brands, including diverse suppliers. Basically, it's a 5-week crash course on how to scale your business for success in mass retail, hopefully at Target. But if we help you succeed somewhere else, that's pretty great too. We had 11 food vendors participate in the session that just ended a few weeks ago. And we're committed to building on that so we can ensure that every guest who walks into Target or logs onto our app feels welcomed, respected, and valued through the experiences we provide and the products that we sell. I want to close today with a story from a store visit not long after I was named Chief Food and Beverage Officer back in February. I was with Avery Adams, a new merchant leader in our bakery, deli, and food service division. Now, before joining Target, I had spent more than 20 years in the food and beverage business, working on brands like Quaker Oats, Pepsi, Miller Lite. I have been on, like I'm sure many of you, I have been on countless store visits. But this one was a little different. Because after a few minutes, Avery handed me a couple of quick-fire exercises. Just a fancy way of he was basically giving me a test. In one of them, I was a parent who just picked up my 6-year-old from school. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. He can't make it through soccer practice without a snack, but the snack has to be light enough not to spoil his dinner at 5:30. And the kicker, you have to make a choice in 45 seconds before there is a total meltdown. Now, full disclosure, I have 3 nephews, and I've taken them to Target countless times. But when I go to the store with them, I am not a responsible adult. Far, far from it. I'm there as the cool uncle who buys them things like lightsabers and Nerf rockets and anything that makes a lot of noise, basically the stuff that my sister does not want in her house. I've never had to negotiate a near meltdown. So Avery's test was intense. I almost cracked right away and grabbed a cookie from the bakery. But I rallied and quickly walked over to produce and ended up with a pouch of organic fruit smoothie from Once Upon a Farm. Avery said I passed. But that's not why I still remember that store visit 6 months ago. The visit has stuck with me because it emphasized the stakes of what we do in grocery. At its best, this business is not transactional. It's personal. And every day, whatever it is our guest needs, that's the single most important thing in that moment. So no matter what, we're only as good as our last guest's last experience with us. And that's a pretty awesome responsibility. And yes, it's humbling, absolutely. But mainly, I think it's inspiring. Which is why I am incredibly proud to be here today representing the Target team and everything we're doing to take our food and beverage business to new heights. And that's why it's such an honor to be here with all of you, celebrating everything that each of you are doing to shape the future of this industry. Thank you.